Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus the Ancient Gladiator with more Pillar Lows tabletop games with War Chest. Big box. Love it. The goal of War Chest is to place your controlled markers on control points. And once you place them all, you win. It is playable between 2 players or 2 teams of 4 players. 4 players between 2 teams. So in a way, it's a little bit like Warcraft, but more of a tactical kind of game. So the setup of the game, you'll have 4 unit cards, or 3 if you're playing with teams. This is the demonstration game, but there's more units as well. For this, we have one side with crossbowmen, light cavalry, pikemen, swordsmen. The other side has archer, cavalry, lancer, and scout. So what you'll do with your starting units, you will have 2 of each that you will put into your bag along with your royal coin. And then throw them into your bag, and you'll want to mix them up pretty well. At the start of the round, the player currently with the initiative token makes sure it's it's on their side. If the other player took it, did flip it to their side. So both players will then draw their 3 coins, and then the round will commence with the actions as follows. First off, there are placement actions using the unit coins. You can deploy. So you must have an open control point, unless it has a special deployment rule, like the scout, which lets you deploy adjacent to enemy unit. Alternatively, if you already have a unit of that type in play, you can bolster it. It doesn't matter where it is on the board. You add another. Let's say this was in my hand and this was in play. And I can bolster it. You cannot bolster straight from the supply. This is just for demonstration. There are some things that can only do things while bolstered. There are some things that are immune to bolstered units. But it basically lets the units stay in play a little bit longer, because whenever they take damage, it goes away. You can only have 1 unit of a given type in play. So let's say I had another cavalry in hand. I am not allowed to do this. In fact, it's counterproductive. Anyway, those are the placement actions. And then there are the discard face down coin actions. So you're not required to reveal what you're giving up. You just discard it face down. Go next to your bag. It's a reminder that it'll go back to your bag when it's when you run out. Yeah, you don't want to get your discards mixed up with the stuff you remove from attacks. But anyway, one of the good things about the royal coin is it's the one you can always use for a face down action, and it means you still have your units in case anything else happens. But the actions are claim initiative, which is what they would do. And let's say discard that one face down, claim initiative. The other player cannot take it back this turn, or this round. The next round, when the next round starts, they'll flip, and then they'll go first. And then this player has the opportunity to claim the initiative back. Alternatively, there's recruit. Discard it, discard the coin and take any unit, and it goes to the discard pile, face down. And when things get shuffled back in, you'll have that available. You want to have more unit tokens to do more things with that type of unit. And then there's just a pass. It's like, I want to wait and see what you do first. I pass. You're not obligated to pass with your remaining tokens. You can still use them. And that's the face down actions. And finally, there are the face up coin actions, collectively called maneuvers. They're the stuff you do with the units that you have in play, ultimately. So, I discard this face up and do one of the following. Move. Move from one space to an adjacent space. Some things may be able to move faster, but those are usually through tactics. Control. The unit has to already be there. I discard the coin. I now control. Alternatively, there's attack. Let's say this swordsman wound up next to him. Attack. Attacks adjacent. Attacked coins are discarded out of the game. And there are some things that can only attack by using their tactics. And that's the final thing. Discard and do tactics. So the cavalry's tactic is to move and attack. Let's say there's this dude out here. I discard, I move, and then I attack. Kick his ass. Get out of there. And that's all the face up stuff. And yeah, you want to be able to have things set up that you can keep on moving and attacking and taking control of points in order to win the game. Yeah, the absolute moment you place your last control marker on the board, you win. Your opponent does not have a chance to respond. They needed to respond like 2 turns ago to the fact that you're trying to win. But yeah, that's the game. Alternatively, there's the advanced setup, which is drafting cards. There's the 4-player setup. Where you can either do the shuffle and give each player cards, or do the draft. Players will, the same team will be opposite each other, so that there'll be this clockwise order of alternating players. Oh, there's also the setups inspired by famous battles. And there are more units not featured. This is the Old Royal Guard card. One of the expansions got rid of it. And then, yeah, the other units include the Royal Guard, Berserker, Ensign, Footman, Knight, Marshal, Mercenary, and Warrior Priest, which all do various things. The game also has available these expansions: Siege and Nobility. Siege adds Fortification coins that'll be placed on various points at the start of the game. And we'll include units to mess with that. Fortifications. Units may enter neutral friendly locations with the fort. Units may not enter enemy locations with the fort. They must attack it first. Units with the multi-space movements may not move through locations with the fortification. So you'll have your control marker, and you'll have a fort on fortification, and that'll mess with your opponent's plans. And this one also has a famous battle setup. Nobility adds Royal Decree cards and Proclamation seals. This is the one that replaced the Royal Guard. So there will be, out of 7 Royal Decree cards, 3 face up where both players can see them. The rest are returned. Each side will have 3 Proclamation seals. In fact, I have them out right here. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And then you can discard the Royal coin face up. That's right, I put it back in here. So discard it face up to proclaim and use a card, which will do stuff like tax or recruit twice or something. And there'll be units that make use of that as well. And there's another famous battle. Why do I love this game? Even though I have never gotten to freaking play it with anyone, I just like all the possibilities, and I like that, it's an interesting 2-player game. Oh yeah, I think I missed one point that, if you ever need to refill your bag, you get to do it. Then you're kind of stuck. So you kind of have to balance what you're putting out and what you're putting back in as well, between recruitment and deployment, and doing the other actions. So there's that to figure out. Hyperborea does the same thing. It's a pain in the butt, but there's that strategy there, and there are so many potential matchups between the different kinds of units, and then having this bag builder thing adds a little bit of randomness to it without being too overbearing. I noticed that for some of these units there's only 4 of them, while other like 5. Like there's 5 scouts because they're nothing special. They just deploy next to adjacent friendly. But stuff like cavalry and lancers and the pikemen, they're kind of nasty, so they got to be limited. But yeah, if you like 2-player games, this is pretty cool. Bit on the expensive side. I mean, the base game was like $50 from where I got it. The expansions are like 25 each. So, hilariously, that's a little bit less than what I spent on Splendor and Cities. But it's a solid game. I want to play it. I'm probably gonna try to find days. Try to make a day out of bringing it and playing against somebody. That's the thing about going to the game stores. We want to play 4, 5, 6-player games where we're all just fighting each other and no one's on a team or anything. And it's kind of hard to bring in 2-player games with that crowd. But this is a game I'm holding on to no matter what. So I will always have an opportunity to find somebody to play with. Yeah, War Chest. Check it out. I recommend it. It's been Pillar Lows Tabletop Games. See you next time.